Morning.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Good morning, Governor Abbott, Adriana with the Governor's Office, Aaron, TEDC, and invited guests. I'm Mark Aaron with Site Selection Magazine. It's March 1. Here I am again. You're going to need a bigger table, Governor.
Oh, man.
In November, I was here with the governor recognizing Texas for having the top state business climate in the country. And that plays a huge role in Texas's ability to win the Governor's Cup this year for the 12th year in a row. So, Governor.
That's fabulous. There we go. Excellent.
So leave this over here.
Oh, you can leave it right
Right
front and center.
Perfect.
There you go.
Perfect. So Texas demonstrates year after year that it knows how to attract capital investment. It's about the business climate, as I mentioned, and the ability to deliver predictability to businesses. In my interview with Governor Abbott, and reprints, by the way, are available of that interview, he explains in detail how Texas succeeds so routinely, again this year for 12 years in a row. This year we are crediting Texas with 1,254 qualified projects. That's more than 200 more than the previous year.
Wow.
A qualified project is private sector, and it meets one or more of these criteria. A minimum capital investment of $1 million, 20 or more new jobs created, and or 20,000 square feet of new construction. By our count, Texas has claimed more than 9 billion plus projects
Wow.
in 2023.
That's great.
Many of you here today are a part of this success. We recognize the state with the Governor's Cup, but it's work that you do around the state that contributes to these numbers. So with that, I'd like to also point out that we recognize in the March issue top metros and top micropolitans. If I mention your community, feel free to clap or shout. In what we call Tier 1 metros, in the top 10 nationally are Dallas, Fort Worth, Arlington, Houston, the Woodland, Sugarland, and Austin, Round Rock. In Tier 3, which is a population of less than 200,000, we are recognizing Odessa and Midland. We also rank metros and states on a per capita basis. The same 3 Tier 1 metros, Dallas, Houston, and Austin, rank in the per capita. In Tier 2, we recognize Laredo and Longview. And again in Tier 3, Odessa. Texas micropolitans on the list this year are Paris and Lufkin. So congratulations to them, and I will turn this over to the governor.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Do this for a second. Well, Mark, thank you very much. Thank you for once again being back on this annual ritual. We're proud to have you here. In fact, you've come back here so often. It seems like you have kind of taken up residency, and even though you have not yet become a resident of the state of Texas, I have with me a proclamation that gets close to that. So I have from the state of Texas to Mark Aaron is hereby commissioned an honorary Texan.
Love it. Thank you so much.
We're proud to have you here, but with all due respect, I'm even prouder of the people behind me, in front of me, and those who are working in offices across the state of Texas right now, because we all know, as you kind of pointed out, it's the hard work of all the men and women of the economic development profession across the board. There's no state in America that has such a prolific environment of economic development professionals. Let me put this right back where it belongs. Than the state of Texas, and it's on behalf of these hardworking men and women. It's on behalf of the professionals who work every day to make Texas #1 economically. So on behalf of the hardworking men and women of the businesses that lead to the economic generation that we have in the state, and of course the people who are members of the legislature behind me. We wouldn't do it without them. Let me list a few. I do want to thank one of our driving forces of nature, who is now helping my administration to, among other things, advance our economic environment, and that is the Texas Secretary of State, Jane Nelson. We all know that from the state perspective, this would not be possible without collaboration and work and legislation by members of the legislature, some of whom join with us here today. Please give it up for the Texas legislature for all they do to help create a good environment. One of the things that I really enjoy the most is having the opportunity to travel around the state of Texas and get to visit with chambers of commerce or local economic development organizations, and get to see close up firsthand exactly what they are doing. And some are here, some are not here, but I want to thank all of the local leaders, the local chambers of commerce, the local economic development professionals for all they do to make Texas #1 economically. And quite often on every team there's a star of that team, and in Texas the same is true for economic development. The star for our team is Adriana Cruz and her entire team. All together, everybody involved in this has made Texas quite literally the economic juggernaut of the United States of America. As we gather here today, there are only 7 countries with an economy larger than Texas. The United States, obviously, China, India, Japan, United Kingdom, Germany, and France. Our economy is growing so fast, which now exceeds more than $2.4 trillion annually in gross domestic product, that we are likely going to surpass France later on this year and be ranked the 7th largest economy in the world. When we do, we're going to celebrate right here at the Governor's Mansion with a big French fry. So you pointed out the record that we had for business facilities projects in 2023. 2023 was also a record-breaking year in a lot of other ways. Texas once again ranked #1 in the United States for the most new jobs added, with about 370,000 new jobs. Texas has added more than 270 corporate headquarter relocations to our state since 2015, and now Texas is the home of more Fortune 500 company headquarters than any other state in the United States of America. Texas truly is the headquarters of headquarters for our country. So you went through some reasons why Texas is so successful. I'll add a few others. One is we continue to be a low-tax state. We, a couple of sessions ago, passed a constitutional amendment actually banning an income tax in the state of Texas. Because our economy is so prolific, this last session we had a record-breaking budget surplus. In Texas, we know that money does not belong to the state. A budget surplus belongs to the people. And we returned it to the people with the largest property tax cut in the history of our state. Texas also is at the same time is making massive investments in infrastructure components like transportation, water, and the power grid. And we have a regulatory environment that literally moves at the speed of business. All that said, as I may have explained to you before, the real secret formula for Texas's success is that we partner with our businesses, because we know the most simple but most profound formula that exists is that when we help businesses succeed in the state of Texas, that helps the state succeed. And so whether you are a business already here or a business looking to come here, know that you will have a partner in the state of Texas working side by side with you to address your every need, to make sure that you will be able to continue to succeed. Some of those businesses like Boeing Gold Wireless, which celebrated the grand opening of a new headquarters in Frisco. CertainTeed, which opened a new roofing manufacturing facility and distribution center in Bryan, Texas. And DrinkPack, which is bringing 1,000 new jobs to the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and many, many more. Bottom line is we're honored to get together with you again in March and celebrate the best business environment in the entire country. And Mark, I want to thank you again and Site Selection Magazine, and here's to many more years of economic prosperity in the great state of Texas.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And I give you a 70-year anniversary
There we go.
t-shirt for the magazine.
There we go. 70 years.
70th year of publication for Site Selection.
That's outstanding. I like the cover, by the way.
Good. Good.
We'll take a few questions. Yes. Listen, obviously that's very nice of him to say, but I think you all know that my focus is entirely on the state of Texas. As you know, I'm working right now on the midterm election process. I've already talked about that I've announced that I'm running for re-election 2 years from now. And so my commitment to Texas is to Texas, and I'm staying in Texas. So several things, especially as you bring up issues like basic allotment. I've seen story after story after story about schools not having the money they need to make ends meet. I'm waiting for that siren to pass by. But if you look at district after district after district, you'll see that they are all facing a very similar problem. Just 1 second. They're all facing a very similar problem, and that is reduced enrollment. When they have reduced enrollment, that means they're not receiving money from the basic allotment. That's point one. Point two is we've seen with the state takeover of the Houston Independent School District, the reforms that can be made that will dramatically improve schools, especially what funding needs to be allocated to. Because when that takeover was achieved, they were able to eliminate a lot of administrative costs that were completely unnecessary, as well as eliminate employees that were unnecessary, while at the very same time dedicating resources to what is truly needed. What's truly needed is to increase salaries for our teachers. And in general, what Miles has been able to achieve in the Houston Independent School District in the first year of this takeover is to increase teacher pay on average from $62,000 a year to $82,000 a year. Another thing that we've seen quite frustratingly is the refusal by school districts across the state of Texas not to take advantage of the incentive pay that the state of Texas already has made available that will put teachers on the pathway to receiving pay in six figures. And this is something that more school districts need to avail themselves of. That said, as you know, in this last special session, I worked with legislators on a package that would have added $6 billion more in public education, plus teacher pay raises, plus more funding for school safety, plus putting an end to the STAR test combined with school choice. And all of the Democrats and just a handful of Republicans voted against that. Had those handful of Republicans voted in favor of it, all of these schools would have more than $6 billion more available to them. Well, listen, I'm sure you've seen my remarks on this before, and listen, IVF is a great pathway for many parents to be able to have children. Texas is a pro-life state, and what that means in part is we want to promote life and promote parents having more children, and IVF is a pathway there. As you probably also saw what I said, there are so many complicated factors that I haven't even thought through completely, and I think the legislature needs to grapple with, and that is, when there are frozen embryos, how many are there? What's going to happen if the mother passes away before she's able to access them? What's going to happen in the case of a divorce? And a lot of other complicated issues. And so I think that this is an issue. The state legislature, not just in Texas, but candidly across the country, will take up and evaluate and kind of go through all the very complicated issues so that we can make sure that we get it right in a way that it fully addresses it. Sure. So first, so you know, I'm going to be heading out of here very quickly because I'm going out there right now to address it. I've been working very closely with the Texas Division of Emergency Management as well as with local county judges. For several days, the fire was uncontained and spread massively and caused catastrophic damage. It is getting more contained as we speak. And with the assets on the ground, there's going to be improvements. I'll learn the details of the ways in which it is both improved, the details about how it's been contained when I arrive out there. The main thing that we as a state is focused on is making sure that all the local governments out there have the resources they need to be able to respond to this, whether it be adding personnel like the Texas Department of Public Safety to help patrol neighborhoods that have been evacuated. The Texas National Guard is deployed to the region to assist in whatever way possible, such as delivering water, food, other supplies to families that need it. We will be going through an analysis when I arrive out there today about what each county, each community needs to begin the rebuilding process, which includes the disaster declarations I've already made, as well as others that could be forthcoming. Say it again. So we got plenty of resources in the state of Texas that will not require removing resources from the border.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's great.